The Haunting of Blackwood Manor. Late one stormy night, Emily drove through the thick forest leading to Blackwood Manor, a remote estate she had just inherited from a distant relative. She had never met this relative, but the promise of a grand inheritance was too tempting to ignore. The winding road was slick with rain, and the dense trees seemed to lean in as if they were watching her. When she finally arrived, the mansion stood tall and imposing, its windows dark and lifeless. The air was heavy with the scent of decay and dampness. As Emily unlocked the creaky front door, it slowly swung open on its own. A chill ran down her spine. Inside, the house was filled with antique furniture, covered in dust and cobwebs. It seemed as though no one had lived there for decades. In the dim light of her flashlight, Emily could barely make out the grand staircase that spiraled up into darkness. She climbed the stairs cautiously, feeling as though something, or someone, was watching her. Halfway up, she felt a sudden gust of cold wind, though the windows were closed. A faint whisper echoed through the hallways. "Leave. Now." Ignoring the warning, Emily continued exploring, determined to spend the night and claim her inheritance. She found a dusty bedroom and decided to settle in. As she lay down, the old bed creaked beneath her weight. The storm outside grew louder, lightning flashing through the cracked windows. Suddenly, the sound of footsteps echoed down the hall. Slow, deliberate footsteps approaching her room. Emily's heart pounded as she held her breath. The doorknob turned with an agonizing slowness, and the door creaked open. There, standing in the doorway, was a figure, pale with hollow eyes that stared straight at her. It was a woman in an old-fashioned gown, her face twisted in sorrow and rage. "Leave. Now," the ghostly figure repeated, her voice a harsh whisper carried by the wind. Emily froze, unable to move, as the ghost glided closer, her icy presence making the air colder. The woman's hand reached out, cold and bony, brushing against Emily's arm. A scream died in her throat as she was overcome by the oppressive weight of fear. In a flash, the ghost disappeared, but the warning lingered in the air. Without wasting another moment, Emily fled the house, leaving behind the inheritance she had once been so eager to claim. As she drove away, the silhouette of Blackwood Manor faded into the distance. But she knew one thing for certain. Something far worse than loneliness haunted that place, and it was something she would never dare to face again.